Now today let's talk about computer hardware. Niko na desktop moja hapa nimefunganisha hapa. I'm going to show you the different parts of a computer that make up the hardware. Now before we proceed, we need to define what hardware is. First of all, there are two main parts to a computer. It's either hardware or software. Hardware are the physical parts of a computer. Anything that can be touched, can be felt, that is considered hardware. Software, on the other hand, are the programs that instruct the hardware on what to do and how to do it. So on a later lesson, we are going to talk about software, but today let's focus on hardware. Now, when it comes to hardware, any part of a computer that is considered hardware has to be physical in nature. So something like your mouse is hardware. Something like your keyboard, hardware. The monitor, the computer monitor is also hardware. Things like a graphics card, hardware. Processor, we also have RAM, we also have hard drives. All these are considered parts of a computer that are hardware. Now, let's look at the inside of a computer really quickly. First thing you will see is that we have this big thing here. It's called the power supply unit or the PSU. So kazi ya power supply unit, vile tu inasema, its work is to supply the computer with the electric current. So kazi yake itakuwa ni convert the alternate current into direct current that can be used by the components of the computer. So hapa ndo tutakuwa tuna connect what we call the power cable. Ile power cable itakuwa inaingia hapo kwa PSU, and then utaona hapo kuna ka cable ina run from the power supply unit to the computer motherboard. The green part is called the motherboard. So that is the power supply unit. Ikiletanga shida, you can always remove it and then you can change it. The next thing you can see, we have the disk drive hapa, mahali tutakuwa tunaweka CD yetu. We also have a hard drive hapa, something like this one. So this is what stores all your programs, your files inside a desktop computer. This is for desktop, na hii ndio ya laptop. Now let's continue. Hapa chini ndio tuko na what we call the processor ama the central processing unit. Now the processor inakaa something like this. This small thing is the brain of the computer. This is where all the processing of data, kila kitu ina happen hapa. So sasa hatuwezi ona hiyo processor because iko chini ya hii kitu hapa, kuna fan and then kuna kitu inaitwa heat sink yenye iko chini hapo and then the processor. So the heat sink is made up of aluminium na kazi yake ni kuabsorb ile heat yenye inageneratiwa na ile processor, and then hiyo fan iko hapo juu itakuwa ina disperse hiyo heat. Remember, processor wakati itakuwa ina run itakuwa ina generate a lot of heat. Actually ukiachilia ikiwa hivyo peke yake without the heat sink and the fan, it can actually catch fire. So to prevent this, we have the aluminium block juu yake, and then tuko na kitu inaitwa fan hapa yenye itakuwa inatoa hiyo heat nje. The green part you can see inside there is the computer motherboard. Now as you can see, ukiangalia mzuri, the green part, a circuit board. So the motherboard is where everything is directly or indirectly connected. Unaona vitu mingi zinatoka zinaingia into the computer motherboard. It is the single most important thing inside the computer. On the computer motherboard tunaweza pata vitu kama RAM slots. Hapa mali ndo tutakuwa tuna plug in our RAM sticks. Utakuwa unaiweka pale. You can see that we have 4 RAM slots, 1 2 3 and 4. Tuko na 2 black and 2 white. Hapo ndo utakuwa unaweka RAM stick yako. We also have expansion slots, 1 2 3 4. This is where you can plug in something like your graphics card, for example. Utakuwa una plug in pale. So basically those are just some of the computer hardware parts that you can find. So is on the most common, the disk drive where you store all your things. So for this one is a 500 GB hard drive. You can actually swipe, kama hiyo 500 GB kutoshi, you can just remove it and then upgrade it with something like 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte ama hata 4 terabyte. This is the disk drive mali tutakuwa tunaweka CD, but modern computers nowadays hazikuji na hii disk drive because everything has been replaced by USB. Where is my flash disk? This is what has replaced. So ndio imereplace hizi disk CD zenye tulikuwa tunatumia zamani. I think hata zilikuwa stuffish sana. Good riddance. The power supply unit is where you get all your juice. Hii ndio itakuwa ina supply your computer with the electric current that it needs. And then tuko na the processor iko hapa chini, we can't see it, but tumesema it looks something similar to this. We have the computer motherboard, the green part. You can see the expansion slots pale, 4 of them, and we have the RAM slots pale where you will plug in your RAM sticks. So basically those are the computer hardware parts, the most common ones. So these are the internal ones. Hizi zile ziko ndani ya computer case. This is the computer case. So something like a mouse, a keyboard, hizo ni external, tutakuwa tunazipata nje. And then kitu moja tuwezi sahau ni cables. Power cables, the VGA cables, hizo zote pia they are considered hardware. So thank you for joining me today. I hope umelearn a bit about computer hardware. In a later lesson tutakuwa tunaangalia about computer software, pia tutakuwa tunaangalia the different types of software. In the next lesson tutaangalia pia how to connect the system unit ama computer case to the monitor using cables. Tutakuwa tunaangalia these parts hapa nyuma, these ports vile tutakuwa tunaziconnect. We will look at video cables, data cables and all that. So I hope you'll join me in the next lesson to learn more about computers. So I hope you may learn something. Kama umependa hii video manze, piga the like button. Follow. This is how tutakuwa tunaambia TikTok kwamba we are producing good content and itakuwa recommended to many people when wanataka ku learn about computers. You can also save the video for future reference. Uwezi jua na wakati gani itakusaidia. Thank you again and I'll see you guys in the next video.